Hello lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today I am making bread whilst I talk about one of my favourite books of all time. I think I'm on my fourth reread of the book, which is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I love this book so much. It's like a hefty book, but I love that book so much. But anyway, before I start talking about that, I'm going to be making some bread because I want to make bread. But anyway, I never see anyone talk about The Night Circus, rarely. And it might be because the book came out good a couple years ago now, but like, even when I search it online, there's never anyone really talking about it, or like, just there isn't. I've looked. I love The Night Circus. Oh my god. Basically, a synopsis of it is that basically you have like multiple main characters, but the entire book follows basically this circus. That's immortal, by the way. The circus is immortal. Also, I need to see like a fully illustrated rendered version of some of the like, I don't even know how to describe it, but the clock. I need the clock from this, okay? The clock inside of this is so magical. I want it. I don't even like clocks that much. I can't read them. I hate regular clocks. Which hand is the hour and which one's the minute? But I would have a clock from that. I would have the clock in that if I could, okay? That's how much I like this book. It helps me get rid of my hate for clocks. Anyway, add flour into your bowl. But anyway, it's basically a story that takes place over multiple different points in time. But like the timeline isn't like linear. It kind of just jumps everywhere. And in between, you also get extracts. That's enough. Extracts from like different points of views. So you have like the main girls, the main guys, you have some of the mentors' point of views, I believe. You also have your point of view in it as well, which is in an indefinite point in time as well, which I love. Like, your point of view is like in a non-determined point of time, so you don't know what's actually like going on and where it's set. You only know where it was in the past, which I love. I love the fact that it's separate that way. But anyway, add salt. But anyway, I kind of really love it because you get stories within the circus, the development of the characters inside the circus as well. Like, you get to know all the characters very well, but also you get the development of how the different people, like the two people who fall in love, their love story is tragic, by the way. Tragic. They were raised as rivals in a magical bet against each other. First off, okay, they fall in love, they have all their shenanigans, okay, and the book ends with them basically being deeply in love and ending up deciding, no, we're going to become spirits so we can save the entire circus and live together in the ether world whilst we watch over all our friends who do not age, well, they kind of do age, but not really. Very, very slow aging. But they're just like, so we can keep the magic alive and keep all our friends alive, because if the magic of the circus dies, they would all die because they're all not supposed to be where they are because they're basically all immortal, okay? Like, this circus has been around for decades and decades. Like, they're in modern centuries. Like, these people should not be alive, okay? And like the circus, you never see it set up, and you never, like, ever see it being developed. I'm adding baking powder. I know this is probably not how you make bread, and I know I could probably research a recipe, but I cannot be asked, okay? But anyway, I feel like getting like distracted on tangents whenever I talk about this book, because it's so hard to like describe in a way, because I'm just like, I don't know how I should tell you it. I don't know if I should tell you the linear events, which are easier for me to remember in my brain, or do I tell you the chronological events of how it happened in the book, which is even more difficult to explain sometimes because it is really over everywhere, and unless you read the book, you have no clue what's going on, and when someone describes it to you, you probably have no clue what's going on. Example A being my video. One sec. But anyway, I do truly love this book. It's such genius writing because you don't know which way the plot's going as well, and it's not really a romance story, it's more of a fantasy story. And like, I love the girl in it because you have minor romance stories, but you also have people working out who they are in it. Like, there's a young girl in it who's trying to work out what her special skill is within the circus. You have people who run away to join the circus, one of my favourite tropes as well. But like, I just love it so much. You have people who wear these red scarves, who follow the Night Circus from place to place to place, who track them their entire lives, because no one knows where it's going to go. It just pops up randomly. So there's an entire network of people going, it's here, XYZ, And like, there's people trying to track it, there's people trying to join it, people just love it so much they want to follow it. But all these people, like, we must keep the secret of the Night Circus as well. We have red scarves, and that's how we identify each other, and that's how the circus identifies us. But we know the secret of these are timeless beings because people have been following it from when they were 11 and they're in their 90s, and they're like, you haven't aged. But cool, man. Cool. I love this circus so much. I'm just like, we also get points of views from these people. The clockmaker, we get to meet the clockmaker. The clockmaker is my idol. I love that man. I'm really rambling. There's just so many characters, and like, they even have like tribute to like the people who follow the circus, and it's just so good. And I love the reader points of view in it, because then you get to experience the circus. Well, I need this circus to be real, but I know it will never be real. Nothing that magical can be real. Well, if it could, it would be, but I feel like we would ruin it very fast. But anyway, I honestly very much love this book so much. I love the storytelling in it, and I love the way it's written, because at some points it's written like it's a letter, like someone is writing in their diary or writing letters to each other, and other points are written like dialogue. And some points are written like someone's recording this history. And I love the different writing styles because it changes in the timelines. Also, the writing and phrases they use changes, like, kind of in what era they're in and what situation they're in. And it takes place across the globe. And I'm just like, oh my god, I love this so much. Like, I honestly love this book, if you could not tell by my incessant rambling on it. I don't know if I should add butter into the bread. I don't think so, but like, maybe? Anyway, right, so I might read the blurb, just so. Also, this is like, actually managed to get compliments from The Guardian, The Times, The Independent, and The Daily Mail, and the author of The Time Traveller's Wife, so very high acclaims. This book is, if you like The Time Traveller's Wife, which also is a brilliant book, by the way, I love that book, you would like this book. I love this book. And like, some of you might be like, that's really hard to follow along. Like, trust me, I struggled the first time I read it, and I'm a very dyslexic individual, but even I love it so much. But anyway, the circus arrives without warning, full of breathtaking amazement, and open only at night. The Circus des Raz, it's French. I can't do French. I'll put the spelling up here. Anyway. Seems to cast a spell over all who wanders into its circular path. But beyond the glittering acrobats, the fortune tellers, the contortionists, a fierce competition is underway. Celia and Marco are two young magicians who have been trained since childhood for a deadly duel. That's the bet thing, okay? With the lives of everyone at Circus of Dreams. That's why it's in English. Basically, the French name is why it is Circus of Dreams in English. But everything sounds more cool in French, obviously. Like, everyone at the Circus of Dreams is at stake. They must test every limits of imagination and of their love. I love this book so much. It's so good. I have never been able to find any per book because I'm very much, if I want a physical book, I want to find it out in the wild. I don't like ordering books offline that much unless it's from Waterstones and I've seen the book in person. And it's like, I've got a Waterstones voucher and there's not a Waterstones near me, so I'll order it. But I really try to like buy books in person because I just prefer the experience. But I love this book so much. It's so good. Why are you so good? Like, even like just the detailing on the front, like, such a good book. Okay, I'm gonna add some more water. But yeah, okay. Honestly though, one of my top recommendations, and like I'm gonna be rereading it lately because honestly, I'm halfway through reading Hot Hex Boyfriend. And I was like, I really like the magic aspect in this. The guy was kind of like denying magic, like magic's not real, and then her grandmother hexes her, and it's like, here's your boyfriend now, and she's just like, what? Well, kind of. I think that's how it's gonna go. I'm only a little bit into it, and by a little bit, I mean like 30 pages, because I keep putting it off. Because, in my defense though, I did finish my 2 last deadlines for uni this week, so yay me. I'm officially finished with uni, technically. I'm still going in because I have 2 other projects on at least at the moment, and I'm probably going to try and pick up a couple more whilst I have access to a workshop, just so I can get more work done. But yeah, right. But anyway, I might try and find some of the pages. Like, I'm going to find some of the chapter starting places. So like a temporary place, London, April 1895. Like, they're everywhere. Opening night 2, Sparkles, London, October 13th and 14th, 1886. Like, they're jumping all over the timeline. You think they're staying in one place at one time? Honestly, I love this book so much. And like, okay, part 2, Illuminations. There is so much that glows in the circus, from flames to lanterns to stars. I've heard the expression trick of the light applied to sites with the circus the Circus of Dreams. Okay, I'm just going to say the English version because I do not want to butcher the French pronunciation that much. So frequently that I sometimes expect the entirety of the circus itself a complex illusion of illumination. And Frederick Wiesner basically has an extract, and then that was from 1894. Okay, like 1885. They're literally just going everywhere. Sometimes you get very linear ones where it's year after year after year, and other times there's an entire 5-year like chapter. Like you have magic lessons where it's literally just 5 years straight of one of their magic lessons, and I love it so much. And like a lot of the time it's not in like first person, second, third person. A lot of the time it is in third person, overviewing other people, but then sometimes it feels so personal when you're reading it. It's like someone's recording the data. I just honestly love the book so much. It's such a good book. I did cry when I finished it. I cried in the chapter where they give up their lives for the circus, and then they're just watching over everyone, and then the book still continues. They're like, you thought this was the end? Nah. I love it. I also love how it's like implied that circus is still running to this day and is a real thing to this day, because at the end of the book, skip this bit if you don't want me to hear what the end of the book is. Basically, it's a personal chapter of someone who gets given a business card of the circus, and it has the email address, and then he becomes one of the followers that follows the circus. There's a special name for them, and I can't remember it, but it's such a good book. She is such a good writer. Like, oh my god, I love it so much. I need to find the chapter where the clock is described. But like on the special chapters that aren't within like the timeline, they're like this. Each chapter is like a little extract, and it has detailing around the page, which I also love, I have to say. And like, it's just such a good book. Why is it so good? Why? And like, oh, now I remember. Okay, these bits are from the guy who follows the circus, I believe, and we get his point of view every now and again. Oh, it's just, I love it. I love it so much. It's such a good book. And like, I think some of the furthest dates we get is like 1932. Like, it goes well into the modern era. Well, modern era in like technology has developed enough. I just read the last line again. I love this book so much. I think more people should read this book, honestly. But like, the last line is, "You're no longer quite certain which side of the fence is the dream." I honestly would kill to go to that circus. You know the saying like, oh, if you could go to any fantasy place in the world, if you could go into any book, I'd go into there. That place is safe, and there's a magic circus. There's a magic circus that's safe that I could probably run away and join, okay? I would be happy, and I could just live my dreams out with circus people, okay? Or I could just go see the circus and go, okay, so the circus, I can go home now. Like, why do people, when they, like, I don't get when people go like, oh, if you could be in any book universe, which one would you be? And they go, Percy Jackson, Maze Runner. I'm like, no. Like, yes, they're amazing books, but personally, I don't want to be in a book world where either I'm one of the side characters that get killed very quickly, or one that survives long enough to get the amount of trauma they all go through. The only way I'd be in the Percy Jackson world is if I was in New Rome, okay? And that is, I became a demigod after the wars, okay? But that's not even the point, because there's probably more wars down the line, because that's what the Greeks and Romans did. They really liked their wars, okay? Like, I never get when people say I'd be in like any like fantasy world, like, or any like book world, like Well, why would you want to go to one where there's impending doom and danger? Like, no thanks. I want to go to my peaceful comfort book. Like, yeah, it makes me cry, but like the world itself is cute and comfy, and nothing bad, inherently bad, happens unless you're one of the main characters. Like, the world outside of it is like relatively fine. It is still the world, so like, but like the world outside of it is relatively fine, and nothing bad will happen to you if you're in that world. Long story short, what bookish world would you want to be in? Let me know, like, reasons why. I want to know why. But anyway, honestly, I know I've been praising the book a lot, but I just really love it. Like, the first time I read it is a good couple years ago now, but the book just sticks with me, and I'll just lay in bed thinking about it. I just love the book. But I've never really actually found anyone else who's actually read it before. So if you've read it, please let me know. I want to find other people who've read this book. But anyway, I'm going to start kneading though, and I'm going to just keep talking about stuff. Honestly, I'm so happy most of my uni work's done. Now I'm going off a tangent that isn't like bookish, but like my uni work, it got to the point where it kind of felt like it was dragging on quite a bit. Not because I didn't want to do it at all, it was just because I was doing written uni work and like having to do it in a formal presentation at the same time as doing short films, also which I'm supposed to be going to a showing of, and then I'm going to ask at the showing if there's anywhere I can like send a link to for my friends and family, and if there is, I'll let you know. But I'm going to a showing of one of the short films I was working on, because that was within inside the uni, but I actually got to see like it actually do, and like something physical outside my coursework that will continue outside of my coursework is there. And like a lot of the projects I'm working on, I preferred a lot more than actually doing my coursework, because it felt like a lot more meaningful and like productive. But anyway, it's so weird kneading dough, because if I'm kneading dough, 9 times out of 10 I'm listening to Pitbull's Bible. I don't know why, or Beat It. I find it so funny listening to those songs whilst making dough. Like, my roommates know when I'm making bread because they can hear it, okay? That's how much I listen to Pitbull's Bible whilst baking bread. I don't listen to it really outside of it, but if I'm baking bread, that song is on, and that song is obnoxiously loud. But I am respectful. I only do it between the hours of 5 and 7, because we finish uni at 5, so most of my housemates are still at the house during that time. And if they're in the house, well, most of them are doing stuff with their own music on, so they can't really hear. But anyway, I want to know some book recs, especially non-romance book recs. I want to broaden out lately, and I feel like I'm very much stuck in the romance genre. And like, don't get me wrong, I love my romance books. I love a good romance books, and I love just a good romance story. But I'm thinking I need to broaden out. Like, I have a couple murder mysteries, and like I'm tempted to read them, but like I have one which is like Six for Supper, and I was going to read it, but then I opened the book, and it looked like a podcast, and I was kind of like, ooh, maybe this might be an audiobook read. So I'm thinking I might try and find that one on an audiobook site, or see if I can get an audiobook reading of it from somewhere. Honestly, other than that, like, I don't really have that much wider stuff. It might just be branching out into romance books. I am starting one of the audiobooks at the minute that I started reading. I think it's one of the Dark Academia books I talked about the last time. So far I haven't fully started it. I like half started it last night, and then I went to bed because I was tired from my deadline. But anyway, so question for you then, in the combination of this video, why are you reading? What book world did you go into? No, like, I would love to go into Night Circus, but like I have a couple of others I'd love to go into, like the Grishaverse. Even though this counteracts the points I was saying, like, my need for magical powers may overweigh my logical sense. Like worlds like the Hunger Games or Percy Jackson, where it's still within like regular domains, or like the Hunger Games wouldn't really do that. But worlds with fantastical fae powers or fantastical magical powers that you just have and that aren't given to you for no reason, and because you have these powers, like, you're not necessarily forced to have a notable drive, but some people choose to. Like, I would. The Grishaverse, I would, because like you either are on the Crow side of the Great Divide, or you're on the side where Ben Barnes lives, and like, I understand why a lot of those women in the book and in the TV show chose the side of the evil guy. Like, I don't think I would choose against him either. Or Narnia. I love Narnia. I kind of ignore the slightly Christian side to it because I like the story in it. And I know it's supposed to be a religious story, but whenever I read it, I don't see it as a religious story. And I didn't realise it was a religious story that much until the very end film that was made with the actor with the eyebrows. I know he has a name, and I can't remember his name because in my mind he's actor with the eyebrows, or Adam from Guardians of the Galaxy, or the kid from We're the Millers. And that's like my knowledge. I know he's in Maze Runner as well, but he is the actor with the eyebrows. And you probably know who I mean. I know. Oh, now I've got to thinking like what other ones I would want to be in. Like maybe one of my romance books. But like in those romance books, no one else can have a romantic life subplot in those books unless you're the main character. So maybe one of them. I would never want to be a main character in a book. That's way too much pressure. And way too much drama. I would want to be one of the side characters who's just living their life. Like, maybe they have a little drama, but they're living their life. I want to be one of those side characters. Like, or, I don't know, maybe the Dream Billionaire book series, like the Fine Print, the Final Offer, Terms and Conditions. Really like that book series. That would be a fun one to live in. Maybe Filthy Rich Vampires? Or the, my next door neighbour. My roommate is a vampire. That would be kind of fun. Definitely not my Grimm's book of fairy tales. That world is horrifying. I don't know what else to say about that world apart from the Grimm brothers. I've like read a couple of their stories and like I see why Disney made these more child friendly. Like Cinderella to start off with, just like they really did that, and then Cinderella did that back. Like I feel like that's a bit to the extreme. Like yeah, they were mean to you and all, but making someone go blind via birds? Like, babe, that seems a bit harsh. Like, you were married to a prince. You could have just chose exile. You could have just chose to, like, go, and you're kicked out of the country, bye-bye. Like, you could have just chose to do that. But no, instead, you was like, no, I'm going to irreparably damage and traumatize these people. So now, they can't physically see birds, but every time they hear one, they're going to panic because they are traumatized from this. And I'm just like, get your revenge and all, girl, but like, I feel like there's better ways you could have done that. There are better ways. You're supposed to be better because you were supposed to be the person with empathy and stuff. But like, hey, I don't blame her. But like, there could have been a better way to do that. I just want to say. But anyway. Honestly, I have like, whenever I talk about some of my more wide range books, it normally falls into like children's tales and like old children's tales. Like I have Ghostly Tales. I love that book. It's a book of Victorian nursery, a book of Victorian stories that you would tell to children. I don't think these should be told to children unless that child is gothic baby off of TikTok. And even then, I think you need to wait until she's at least 10. Because some of those ones I'm just like, and I'm just like, yeah. Honestly, I think I might try and get into sci-fi as well. I really like sci-fi at the minute. But anyway, I've been rambling for a while, and my dough has been made. I'm going to let this rise for a bit, and then I'm going to put it in my air fryer or maybe the oven, depending if my roommates are cooking. But anyway, that is all. I hope you enjoyed this video and a ramble. And let me know which book universe you would want to be in, if any, and why. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and you should go read.